What's up, everybody? Kyle here at Let's Talk Wax with an updated 2022 Bowman Top 15 Prospects list. We are several months past the initial release of this product and a lot has changed since then, so stay tuned. Now, before we kick off this video, if you guys want to check out some of my exclusive content, head over to my Patreon page. I'll put a link in the description. I'm also running some free giveaways courtesy of BRG Grading. They sent me a ton of really cool slabbed cards, and I'm giving these away through my social media outlets. Right now, I am running a giveaway for a Christian Encarnacion Strand First Chrome Auto out of draft, but head over to my social media quickly because this ends August 2nd. All right, kicking this thing off in the 15 spot is Max Muncy with the Oakland A's. He's a 19.9-year-old shortstop, so he's soon going to be 20. He's playing in high A. I underestimated Muncy's power, I think, a little bit when I did my initial top 25. But the thing that I'm worried about with Muncy are the K numbers. He's got a 30.6 K percentage in 2022, and he's got a 31.0 K percentage on his career. Now, he doesn't have a whole lot more career at bats than he does in 2022 because he didn't get much time last year in his rookie debut. But he's got really big power, and I could have put some other guys on this list like Quintana and Denzer Guzman, but I'm kind of holding out hope that he can make more contact because he does have a lot of power. He's about a $60 auto right now. He's not inside the top 100 on MLB.com, but he is the number 4 ranked overall prospect in the Oakland A's organization right now. At number 14 on our list, we have HERNAIZ. He's a 21.0, so he just turned 21. Shortstop, second baseman in high A with the Baltimore Orioles. Now, he's kind of a sleeper for me. And like I said, there were some other guys that I could have put at the bottom of this list, but what really attracted me to HERNAIZ were the consistency with his K numbers and the consistency with his numbers as a whole, you know, through his career and through 2022. He doesn't have any super loud tools, but his career average is 279. His 2022 ISO is almost 70 points higher than his ISO as a career, so he's kind of growing into some power, which is really exciting. He's got 9 home runs on the year, but he's a solid player. I think he could be a solid big leaguer. He's also not in the top 100 on MLB.com, but he is 27 on the Orioles top 30. And he's got a 3.5 out of 6 for me right now. Okay, at number 13, we're gonna look at Oswaldo Cabrera with the New York Yankees. He's kind of an infield utility guy. He's played shortstop, second base, third base. He had a huge season in 2021. He hit a bunch of home runs, stole a bunch of bases. He started the year in AAA this year, and he had a shoulder issue in May. Now, I couldn't find a whole lot of information on what the shoulder issue was, but he took some time off and he's currently rehabbing. He was in the complex league for a game or two. He was in low A. I think he still might be in low A right now, but he is starting to make his comeback. And I really wasn't sure how much the shoulder injury impacted his really poor start to 2022. You can see he's only hitting 237 on the season with a 25.4 K percentage. His ISO was still above 200, but he just kind of struggled and didn't quite replicate what he did in 2021 earlier this year. So like I said, I'm hoping the shoulder issue was the cause of that, and I still think he's a really cheap buy at 20 bucks. He's one of the top infield prospects in the Yankees organization, along with Peraza and Volpe. He's number 13 on the New York Yankees organizational list, and he has not cracked the top 100 yet. Next, we have JHONKENSY NOEL with the Cleveland Guardians. He is probably one of the biggest power prospects in baseball right now. He's close to 70 grade power. He just is a massive dude. He's got a 304 ISO. He's got 28 home runs on the season. He's played between high A and double A this year, and he's only 21. But he is a first baseman, so it's something to consider. His defensive ceiling is not going to be very high. On this career, he's hitting 269 with a 246 ISO, which is really good in my opinion. And the thing I like about Noel is the fact that he's got big juice and his K numbers are not going to make you vomit. So he is a guy to watch. I'm hoping he can make a little more contact as he adjusts to AA. But with his power production right now, and kind of the state of baseball the way it is, if he's hitting, if he hits 35 to 40 home runs this season, in the minor leagues, it's not really going to matter how much average he hits for, especially when his K numbers, are right around 20. He could afford to walk more, but the power is real and the K numbers are not terrible. His price has gone up quite a bit since release. It's at $50 right now, but he's definitely somebody to watch with the Cleveland Guardians. At number 11, we have Felix Valerio with the Milwaukee Brewers, 21.6 years old, playing in AA, and he is a second baseman. He's got pretty solid career stats, and if you guys watch a lot of my content, I weigh a lot of my decisions and my rankings and things like that on prospects on career numbers. And the reason I have Valerio so high on this list is because his career numbers are great. His K numbers are absolutely outstanding. And I think on the back half of the year, he's got a really good shot to put up some better offensive numbers. Just because he makes so much contact, he doesn't strike out, I think we could see the 237 average increase quite a bit. He's already about 20 points higher on his career ISO, even though he's somewhat struggling. And like I said, the K numbers are the best on this list. In 2022, he's got a 16.2 K percentage and a 1.70 K to walk ratio. And career-wise, it's 12.6 and 1.11. So really, really good K numbers. I think he's going to have an exceptional back half. I'm hoping he is, but that's kind of why I ranked him so high on this list, even though his 2022 stats aren't too great to look at. He is 8th in the Brewers organization, and another guy that's not on the top 100. His first Chrome autos are right around $20 right now. At number 10, we have Dustin Harris, a 23.1-year-old in AA with the Texas Rangers. Now, the Rangers have been working Harris a lot in left field, which is going to help him, kind of accelerate through the minor leagues, I think. He's really intriguing because his power is growing, and he's 23.1, which you don't see. So maybe some sort of adjustment occurred with his swing, with his launch angle. He's always hit for average. He's got a 304 career batting average and a 186 career ISO. In 2022, so far, he's got a 218 ISO. He's got 17 home runs and 19 stolen bases. So I really didn't expect to see this much power out of Harris on release, which is exciting because it put him in the top 10 for me. And I'm really intrigued to see, exactly how much power he will tap into by the end of the 2022 season. The K numbers are also Curtis Mead style numbers. He doesn't strike out a lot and he takes walks. And he's a left-handed bat, which is just really exceptional. So there are some really positive things that I like about Dustin Harris. The fact that he's growing as a prospect at the age of 23, which you don't really see. And his autos are only $35 right now, so he's a pretty cheap buy-in if he's somebody you think you might want to chase. Organizationally, he's ranked number 7, and another guy that is not on the top 100. At number 9 on our list, we have Colson Montgomery, the number 1 prospect in the Chicago White Sox organization. He is 20.4, playing in high A currently, and he is a shortstop with an advanced hit tool. Now, you're going to notice me talk a lot about K numbers, and I actually have put 2 stats in this video, both relating to K numbers. I've told you that I'm a career stats guy, and I'm also really, really big on K numbers. And later in this video, I'm going to probably talk to you about K numbers even more with a specific prospect that you are probably expecting to be in the number 1 spot, but he's not going to be in this video. But nonetheless, K numbers are really important to me in career stats. So Montgomery's got excellent K numbers. He's never had a higher than 20% K rate, and his K to walk ratio is right around 1.32. And he's kind of like Max Muncy. He doesn't have a huge sample size, so his career versus 2022 stats aren't really going to be much of a difference. The thing that I do like is he's got about a 20-point ISO increase from his career stats in 2022. I really am concerned about the amount of power that Montgomery is going to tap into. Like I said, he's got an advanced hit tool, but I really don't know what he's going to do damage-wise. He could be just a solid hit tool shortstop that bats in the back half of the order, or depending on if he can grow into some power, he could be, a top of the order, middle of the order type hitter. So there's a big coin flip here with Montgomery on whether he'll tap into some power. Like I talk with a lot of my guys on Discord and just my Facebook and prospecting friends, power is always the last thing to come. These young kids are making adjustments with wooden bats, adjusting to different levels, and it takes a while to get comfortable with those things. And when they finally do, the power is usually the last to show up. So Colson Montgomery is a guy to watch and keep an eye on that ISO. At number 8, we have Warming BERNABEL, 20.1 years old, playing in high A. He's a third baseman in the Colorado Rockies organization. Now, unfortunately, I'm a fan of BERNABEL, but I am not a fan of the name on the front of his jersey. They have been notorious for not really developing players. I think Trevor Story is probably one of their biggest homegrown players in the last decade. And, I have a hard time chasing Rockies. I got burnt with Brenton Doyle. I put a lot of money into Brenton Doyle after his rookie year. He was a little older, but he had a solid debut in rookie league. Crazy numbers, and then he kind of just fell off the face of the earth. He's striking out way too much. Hasn't really grown as a hitter. But BERNABEL brings a unique hit tool. He's got a career 300 batting average, and he's hitting 327 on the season. But a lot like MUNCY, I'm wondering how much power he's going to tap into, down the road. He's got more power than, not MUNCY, but Montgomery. He's got more power than Colson Montgomery right now, and it's growing a little bit. He's at a 188 ISO, so he's just under 200, which is really good. But when you're considering, elite prospects and big power prospects, anything 200 plus is probably in the great category. So I'd put BERNABEL, in the pretty decent, above average power category right now. Another thing to like about him is the K numbers, 13.6 K percentage in 2022 and a 1.67 career K to walk ratio in 2022. And they are not far from his career numbers. So he's got an advanced approach, big hit tool. He's got a little bit of speed, but I'm not sure, how efficient that speed's going to be at the big league level if he's going to be able to, steal 25 bases. But his first Pro models are right around $50 right now. In the organization, he's number 14, which I think is really low for that organization. There's guys like Veen and Benny Montgomery, some of their first rounders, but I really think that he is kind of underrated in his organization at number 14. All right, at number 7, we have George Valera. And I know some of you guys are probably wondering why he's not in the top 5. But for me, Valera is just kind of trending down right now. He's got pretty solid career numbers, and he's always been pushed really hard by the Cleveland Guardians, with age level. He's always played way under the average age for every level he's been at. He's 21.7 in AA though now. So he's right around the age that some of the superstars in today's game were in AAA, were in the major leagues. So we can't really use the fact that he's young for his level as an excuse anymore. And he's not having a terrible season. He's hitting 267 with a 200 plus ISO, which is really good. But when you're considering, future superstars and, big chasers in certain products, he's just not putting up those type of numbers right now. Do I think he's capable of putting up those numbers? I do. But right now he's struggling. I know he got sent on the temporary inactive list for a couple of days earlier this month. I'm not sure if he's got some issues going on, with his family. Maybe he had a death in the family. Maybe he's having a baby. I couldn't figure it out. But when they put players on that temporary inactive list, it usually has to deal with the fact that they've got an issue they need to resolve outside of baseball, and they have to miss a certain amount of time for that. So I'm not sure what was going on there. If you guys do know anything about that, please post it in the comments. But he's got 14 homers on the year. Like I said, a 200 plus ISO. I'm hoping that the big power isn't the only tool with Valera. I hope he can hit for some more average down the road. He's going to be a left fielder, but like I said, he's kind of trending down compared to some of the guys on this list who are really trending up right now. So he could be a guy that ends up back in the top 5 on my next update. At number 6, we have CEDDANNE RAFAELA with the Boston Red Sox. He's a 21.8-year-old center fielder in Double-A right now. And I talked to you guys a little bit before about how I really put a lot of emphasis on career stats as opposed to what a guy is doing in a specific season. And the reason I don't have RAFAELA higher on this list is strictly due to that. His 2022 stats are a bit out of proportion compared to what he's done throughout his career. Now, I'm not saying he's not an exciting player, but there's just a bigger gap there than some of the guys that are going to be in the top 5. So he's hitting .316 on the year, and he's got a .274 career average, a .260 ISO in 2022, and a .187 career ISO. So that's a huge gap. It's almost 80 points between those two ISOs. The 933 OPS compared to the 788 is huge. The K numbers are just about the same, except for he's not taking as many walks in 2022. Now, if he can find a way to continue to play like this throughout the entire season, I may bump him up a bit higher. But for right now, you know, we're about 2/3 of the way through the season, and I just want to make sure before I go any higher on RAFAELA that he's not going to trend down towards his career MILB stats, and he's going to trend more towards what he's done so far in 2022. He does not have an auto yet. Hopefully he'll have an auto in 2022 Bowman Chrome, but you can find his first Chromes for about $3 right now. Okay, breaking into our top 5 is a guy that I did not even have. I don't believe I had him on my previous top 25 list, strictly because I had no data on the guy. This is his first season. He defected from Cuba. Oscar Colas, he's playing with the Chicago White Sox in Double-A right now. He's 23.8 center fielder, and he was in High A, and he was absolutely destroying High A. And like I said, the small sample size, I just didn't get that excited until I realized what he was doing this year. He dominated High A. He is dominating Double-A right now. I think he's hitting, you know, like .367 with a couple of home runs. But he's having a really good season. And much like RAFAELA, I'm hoping that he can continue to trend towards what he's doing now and the numbers don't kind of digress. But he's really close to the major league level. I mean, if he can continue to do this for another month, the White Sox really don't have an excuse to try to get him some reps in the big leagues. He's hitting .323 with a 200+ ISO. And those two numbers alone are just really good, especially when they are together. You know, a lot of times, like with JHONKENSY, NOEL, I'm not saying that Colas has any power even close to NOEL, but it's nice when a guy has a 300+ batting average and a 200+ ISO. That means the hit tool is really good and the power is also really good. The next thing I like about Colas and why I have him so high in the top 5 are the K numbers. 20.2 K percentage and a 2.52 K to walk ratio. So there's a lot to like here. He's not a supreme athlete. He's not going to steal a ton of bases, but he's just having a really good year. And he's an injury away from being called up to the big leagues. Now, the problem with Colas is there's 2 things. He is a redemption is one, and the second thing is he has no Chrome first. He only has a Chrome auto, and it's a redemption. So those are things to consider with him. And like I said, just keep an eye on him because he's having a really good 2022. All right, at number 4, we have one of my favorite guys in this release. I really wanted to put him higher than what I have him, but then a subjectivity would have kicked in, and I run all of my Let's Talk Wax stuff purely on the objective format. I try to use solely numbers. I don't use my personal opinions to rank guys, but I can tell you, even though he's number 4, I really like James Wood, 19.8 in A-ball. Another reason he didn't rank higher is the fact that the guy just needs a dang promotion. He's in A-ball, he's crushing A-ball, he's got nothing left to prove at that level, and he needs a promotion to High A, where I'd really like to see what he's capable of doing when he's kind of age appropriate. On the season so far, he's hitting .309 with a 200+ ISO, a 971 OPS, absolutely insane K numbers. 19.6. He's a sub 20Ker, and he's a 1.22 K to walk ratio. It's really crazy to see how good this guy's been. He hits for average, he hits for power, he's stolen 16 bases, and the K numbers are just immaculate. And this is not only in 2022, he had a smaller sample size in 2021 where he dominated. You know, he just has yet to show the inability to adapt to a level and dominate it. But I'm just really hoping that we can get him to high A before the end of the season to see what he's capable of, where he's age appropriate. His autos have gotten quite expensive. He's a $125 auto right now. Organizationally, he's number 3, and he cracked the top 100 at 88 with MLB.com. So this guy is one of the 4 guys in this product I think has superstar potential. The next 3 guys I could say all have superstar potential, but I just couldn't get him into the top 3 or the top 3 as much as I wanted to. So I put him at 4, and we're going to jump into our top 3. All right, at number 3, we have probably one of the hottest prospects in baseball right now, Jackson Chourio. He was recently promoted to high A, and he is currently the youngest hitter in high A right now at 18.4. Now on his card you will see shortstop. That is not true. He's been playing center field the majority of his games in 2022. So don't get fooled. He's not going to be the next Fernando Tatis Jr. He is an outfielder, a center fielder for now, but he's having an incredible season. And I wanted kind of like Wood. Chourio could have gone higher for me, but the 2 guys in front of him are just that dang good, and his sample size is a little small. Now, when you look at Chourio compared to a guy like Wood, I could have flip-flopped them just because of the K numbers. Chourio is a year younger than James Wood, and he's playing at a higher level than James Wood, so I can kind of let the K numbers slide, but he's K'ing 27.2% of his at-bats, and he's got a 3.84 K to walk ratio right now. The majority of his stats in 2022 did come from A because he was promoted, I think, 3 or 4 days ago. So don't be fooled to think that he's dominated high A as an 18-year-old. That's not true. So he's a guy you need to keep an eye on. He's the Brewers' number 1 prospect in their organization, and he jacked all the way up to the number 35 spot in the recent update of MLB.com's top 100. So he's got no chrome auto. The prices of his colors and refractors out of 2022 Bowman are insane right now, but they're starting to drop because he is going to have an auto released in 2022 Bowman Chrome. So he's got a first Chrome in 2022 Bowman, and he's got the card signed. There's pictures of him all over the internet. So unless something crazy happens, he will be in 2022 Bowman Chrome. But a guy to watch, but make sure you watch what he does in high A because the majority of his 2022 stats all came from A-ball. All right, now before you guys crucify me, I want to explain why Elly De La Cruz is not number 1 on this list. He is a phenom. He probably has one of the he has the biggest ceiling of any prospect in the 2022 Bowman release. He's got 22 home runs and 32 stolen bases. The majority of that came from high A. He was recently promoted to double A, and he's only 20.5 years old. Left-handed bat. I mean, there's nothing else you could want out of a prospect that hits for average, hits for power, steals bases, left-handed, plays a premium position. So many things working in Elly's favor. But the thing that gets me, and this is the guy I was telling you about, how much I really read into K numbers, are his 2022 K numbers and his career K numbers. In 2022 so far, he's striking out right around 30% with a 4.32 K to walk ratio, and that's almost exactly in line with what he's done throughout his career. Like I said, he's got a ceiling that's out of this galaxy, but the K numbers for me are really concerning. I'm anxious to see how he does in AA. I looked yesterday and his K to walk ratio is like 14-1 in AA so far. So he's striking out quite a bit and he's not taking walks. And I get that AA is an adjustment period. You know, Anthony Volpe had one of the best seasons of any minor leaguer ever in high A last year, and it's taken him some time, you know, to adjust to AA. And I don't want to say I don't like Elly De La Cruz. I really like the guy. I'm just concerned with the K numbers. If he can show some improvement through AA, if he can get down to just like 25% K rate and maybe in the 2s with a K to walk ratio, I'd be excited. But if he can't do it in AA this year, he's got all of 2023 when he's still going to be 21.5 and kind of young for the level. So one of the hottest, you know, just toolsy prospects in baseball right now. And I'm really excited he's in 2022 Bowman because I'm kind of hoarding that release in sealed wax in my closet. So hopefully he can pan out to be a superstar because he has a superstar ceiling. All right, bringing home the #1 spot in this video is Curtis Mead. And he is a guy that I considered one of the top 3 chases in this release since release. The thing that I love most about Curtis Mead is the consistency that he's demonstrated throughout his career. He brings the 2 things that I really look for in prospects, which are excellent K numbers and excellent career numbers. He's got K percentage in 2022 and in you know, his career under 20. He's got 1s in both his K to walk ratios, 2022 and career. And he's got a 200 plus ISO career and 2022 and a 300 plus batting average on the career and just right around 300 in 2022. So Mead is an absolute offensive package that is really special. He has no offensive flaws in his game, and it's just, he's one of my favorite hitters. He's probably my favorite hitter in this release. And that's kind of why I put him ahead of Cruz, is simply because of the consistency. I think Cruz has a higher ceiling than Mead, but I think Mead is a really safe bet. He could be a big bat for the Devil Rays, and you know, he's just been so dang consistent. He's the #2 prospect in the organization, and he's 58 in the top 100, 21.7 playing at AAA. He's got a $100 auto right now, but he is my favorite prospect on this list because I'm a big fan of the safe bets. And Mead, to me, looks like a really safe bet to be a solid big league hitter. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to check out my Patreon page. I put a link in the description. There's tons of really cool stuff over there that I don't put on YouTube. We got a Discord server, we've got early access over there, and lots of Excel breakdowns. Really cool stuff over there. And be sure to check me out on social media. My Facebook group, Let's Talk Wax Baseball Card Prospecting Resource. I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and I'm kind of getting the hang of those 2. So follow me over there. If you want to enter the Prospectors Challenge #4 to win the Christian Encarnacion Strand Auto from 2021 draft, BRG 9. Head over there and guess how many home runs you think he'll hit between August 3rd and August 6th. Special shout out to BRG Grading for providing me with all these cool cards to give away. And the link to their website, if you want to send some stuff for grading, is in the description of this video as well. And a special shout out to my level 3 patrons, Tom Barta, Max, Gary, D. Childers Jr., and Just Dingers Breaks. I really appreciate your support. And I also appreciate the support of all of you guys over on the Patreon page. We have a fun group over there, and it wouldn't be anything without you guys, so thank you. And as I said before, if you guys enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel and also check out my other videos. I've got lots of cool stuff over on my main page, so be sure to check that out. Y'all have a good day.